Episode 18, My Years Living in the South. Before Arizona, Southeast Asia, and this run-at-retirement three-ring circus pod, I spent 12 years living in the American South, 7 in Georgia, 5 in North Carolina. Those chapters changed my life. In 2003, after more than 4 years of telecom travel, I finally took a desk job in Alpharetta, supporting Verizon Wireless 3G across Georgia and Alabama. When something broke, I explained why, engineers fixed it, and we promised it wouldn't happen again. I'd helped install it, so I kinda knew my stuff. Kinda. Shit was always breaking, and somehow I was running the show. That job meant one of the biggest decisions of my life. I was building a mortgage-free house in Edmonton and thinking about marriage. Holy smokes, talk about an alternate universe. Edmonton or Georgia? I chose Georgia. I still think about it. My life could have been completely different back in Canada. But North Atlanta and Georgia became home for 7 years. I bought a house near a lake, a boat, and my perfect backyard. Hot tub, fire pit, pergola, speakers. North American Darrell Resort, before North American Darrell existed. I sold my Edmonton house, basically broke even, then watched it double in value. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. I'd been an Atlanta Braves fan since I was a kid in Edmonton, watching them on Peachtree TV. Suddenly I lived in Braves country and could go to games whenever I wanted. Here's the crazy part. After watching them shit the bed in the playoffs year after year, I sold my Georgia house in November 2021. The Braves won the World Series. The same week. Apparently I just needed to sell my house. By 2010, work moved me again. We won the 4G contract for the Carolinas and Tennessee, and I was promoted across all 3. Next stop, Mooresville, North Carolina. Race City, USA. NASCAR teams. I bought an acreage with a house and a 3-car garage with a loft. My strategy was simple. Rent the house, live cheaply in the loft, build equity. Then I bought the lot next door. Because apparently mowing 3 acres sounded relaxing. The garage became my man cave, and eventually I rented the loft and garage space too. I was collecting rent from 4 people across 3 states. Turns out passive income isn't very passive when tenants call. Yes, a couple were assholes. Meanwhile, I was working 60-hour weeks and traveling constantly. I'd created the Joneses lifestyle, and this square peg was definitely stuck in a round hole. Fun fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. lived about 5 miles from me. Never once invited me over for a beer. Still bitter. Eventually I realized I had 7 toilets for this one asshole. Which brings me to the septic tank story. One day I walked outside and smelled trouble. The yard was wet. The septic field wasn't working. The tank was full. And yes, shitter was full. Luckily, the repair was around $5 grand. But the septic tank wasn't the real problem. Both buildings needed roofs. Termites visited every spring like they were paying me more rent. Something always needed money or attention. And suddenly it clicked. I'd spent years building assets and toys. But somewhere along the way, I'd built myself another full-time job. Owning more sometimes creates more crap to maintain. Not long after, I was laid off after 18 years, which you will hear all about in another blog. Suddenly, the next decision became pretty damn easy. Downsize. I sold North Carolina, kept Georgia building equity, moved to my Arizona condo, and eventually started with PayPal. That's yet another podcast. But I wouldn't trade those 12 years. Georgia gave me memories, equity, and helped put me on the path to American citizenship. North Carolina gave me equity and ridiculous stories from NASCAR country. You'll hear more of those down the road. And yes, pun intended. Georgia and North Carolina remain 2 places I miss most. Edmonton might be on that list too, if I'd ever actually lived in that damn house. That equity eventually helped me take this run at retirement. But the biggest lesson wasn't about money. It was learning when enough was enough. When accumulating more stopped improving my life and started consuming it. When to stop buying and start simplifying. That lesson follows me today. I think a lot less about how much stuff I can own, and a lot more about how much freedom I can create. Different chapter, same guy. Considerably fewer toilets. Thanks for listening to the North American Daryl podcast. Until next time, live life to the fullest.